Algebra 1 students. Today we are going to talk about scientific notation, section 8.4, and we're going to be splitting up this section into two videos. So the first video here is section 8.4a. We're going to just introduce scientific notation and talk about how to write a number in either standard form or scientific notation. And then the next video, 8.4b, we are going to discuss operations in scientific notation. So if we wanted to, say, multiply two numbers in scientific notation, how would one go about doing that? So let's look at a number in scientific notation. Scientific notation is a way to write a very large or a very small number using powers of 10. Okay, so this number A, that number, if we're in scientific notation, A is going to be 1 or greater, but less than 10. Okay, so A always has to be a number that's either 1 or bigger than 1, but it has to be less than 10. Okay, and then this B here, this is going to be an integer. So it can be either a negative number or a positive number, but it's not going to have any fractions or decimals. It's going to be negative or positive whole numbers. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples here. If we look at the number 3 million, okay, so we have 3 million here, that's what we call a number that's in standard form. Okay, now if we write it in scientific notation, if we write it in powers of 10, we would have the number 3 times 10 to the 6th power. Okay, now notice how A, here A, is a number that is either greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. And 3 million is a very big number. It's a very large number, so this exponent 6 is positive. Okay? Now, if we look at the number 4 thousandths with a th, thousandths, that's a very small number. It's equal to 0.004. That's in standard form. The equivalent in scientific notation would be 4 times 10 to the negative 3. Now this is a negative exponent because the number 4 thousandths is a very small number. So we're going to talk about here now how to take a number in scientific notation and turn it into a number in standard form. So what you need to know is that if B is positive, okay, so here's B right there. If that's positive, that means the number is a very large number. So we're going to move our decimal place B times to the right. Okay, now if B is negative, that means we have a very small number. So in order to make that very small number be a number that's greater than or equal to 1, we are going to move our decimal to the left. Okay, so let's practice this together. We're going to take the number 2.175 times 10 to the 7th power, and we're going to write it in standard form. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to move our decimal place, we want to move our decimal place 7 times to the right because B is positive. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to move this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places to the right. And I'm going to fill all those blank spaces in with a 0. Okay? So now let's rewrite the number and let's put in some commas there. So we have 21750000, and I need a comma after every third number. So I'm going to put in 2 commas, and what we would have there is 21,750,000 in standard form. Okay, let's go ahead and look at example number 2. Now our exponent is negative. That means this is a very small number. So we're going to go 6 places to the left. Okay? So we have this number 4.51, and we want to move the decimal left 6 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to fill in these blank spaces with zeros. Okay? So our number in standard form would be 0.00000451. Okay, let's look at example 3. So let's see, we have a positive exponent, so we want to go 4 places to the right. Okay, so let's take that number 5.007 and we'll move our decimal 4 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fill in a 0. So we have 50070, and I want to slip a comma right in between those 2 zeros, so we have 50,070. Okay? What I want you to do is I want you to try it on your own. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try example 4 and 5. You're going to write the number in scientific notation. You're going to take it and rewrite it in standard form. When you're ready to check your answer, go ahead and resume playing on your video, and we'll talk about what the answer should be for examples 4 and 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and review example 4 here. So since we have a negative exponent, we want to go 8 to the left. So I'm going to take the number 7.39 and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I want to fill all those spaces in with zeros. So in standard form, you should have 0.0000000739. Okay, make sure you count up all your zeros and you have exactly 7 zeros in front of that 739. In example 5, we have an exponent of positive 5. So we want to go 5 decimal places to the right. Okay, so we're taking the number 8.99 and we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, fill in our zeros, and what we're going to have here is 899,000. Okay? All right, go ahead and flip to the back side, and what we're going to do here is we are going to talk about now how to write a number in standard form. We're going to turn it into scientific notation. Okay? So if the number is a number that is greater than 1, so it's a very large number, we're going to move the decimal to the left until you have a number that is greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. Okay? And if that number is greater than 1, it means it's a very large number, then your exponent b will be positive. Okay? Now, if the number is less than 1, so it's a very small number, we are going to move the decimal to the right. Okay, so we're doing the opposite of what we were doing when we were taking the number from scientific to standard form. Now we're going to go from standard form to scientific, and we are going to be doing the opposite. Okay? Now, if we have a very small number, that means our exponent b is going to be a negative number. All right, so let's practice this together. So we're going to take example 6 here, and we have the number 42,500,000. Okay, so I know my decimal is right here. Okay, and I want to move that decimal so I have a number that is either greater than or equal to 1. So I'm going to move the decimal to the left, and I'm going to keep track of how many times I move it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I moved 7 to the left. Okay, so now what we have is the number 4.25 times 10 to the 7th power. Okay, let's look at example 7. So this is a very small number, so we're going to be moving our decimal to the right. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So we went 6 to the right. Okay, so that means our exponent is going to be a negative 6. So we're going to write this number as 8.89 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, and number 8 is kind of an interesting example. Let's see, our decimal would be right here, 92.0, and I want to move this decimal so I have a number that is less than 10 but greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so all I need to do is move that decimal one spot, and I moved it 1 to the left. Okay, so what we would do is that means our exponent is going to be a positive 1, and we're going to rewrite this as 9.2 times 10 to the first power. Okay, so again, I want you to try a couple of these on your own. I would like you to try example 9 and 10. And what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite the number in scientific notation. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video. And when you're ready to check your answer, go ahead and resume playing, and we'll talk about what the answer should be for number 9 and 10. Okay, so let's talk about number 9 here, okay? So we're going to move our decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So we moved it 4 to the right, and that means that our exponent is going to be a negative 4. So we're going to rewrite this number as 5.67 times 10 to the negative 4, okay? So that's what you should have for number 9. And number 10, holy smokes, we have a huge number here. It's 7,000,000,001,000,000, okay? So what we want to do is we want to move our decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So we moved it 9 to the left, and that means our exponent is going to be a positive 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this number as 7.001 times 10 to the positive 9 power. Okay? All right, so what you're going to do is go ahead and get started on your homework for section 8.4, and we'll see you for the next video, the next segment of section 8.4, which is 8.4b, and we'll talk about how to crunch some numbers in scientific notation. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.